So this video is to show you how to install the aux wire for your new Android based ICM3 unit. Now if you have the poverty spec Saab 9.3 like I have here, which has the basic ICM1 radio and no auxiliary input, you'll find that when you turn your radio on you cannot access the auxiliary. So to access the auxiliary, normally what you would do is you'd hit the CD button twice and it would show aux. But because this car does not have auxiliary activated on this ICM1 using a Tech 2, there is no auxiliary function. However, as soon as you install the ICM3 unit, you will have auxiliary available, because all ICM3 units by default have the auxiliary function available, and that is where this wire comes into play, because you can plug this in and the audio from the ICM3 Android unit will be coming through the auxiliary point. So I'm going to show you how to install that now.
I appreciate that a lot of people have bought these units already, so anybody who's bought a unit already and wants to acquire one of these cables, just ask and I will send you one free of charge.
So this dashboard at the moment is missing the vent and the climate control unit. They've both been removed. Now I've shown you how to remove those in my main installation video. So where we are now, we need to remove the radio and the EHU, entertainment head unit here. So, well, we don't need to remove it, we just need to move it forward so that we can access the back of it. And if you notice, there are two metal clips here and here. They're below that metal tab, so basically you push them in on both sides using a screwdriver, and the whole unit will just come out, so that I could give you a better view. See this metal tab here, so you just push that in, and on the other side this one here, and then the whole thing will just come out. Again, have your car in drive if it's an automatic, or if it's manual, just pull it down into fourth gear. So what you're looking for on the back is this connector, but I don't want you to remove it. You need to leave it as it is, and inside this connector you will see it has two blank spots. Now they're only blank if you don't have a 3.5mm jack in here. If you do have a 3.5mm jack in here, you're going to have a plug in here. If you want to retain use of that, then there's a different method you'd use. You'd tap into the wires for the auxiliary, which I will show you on a different video. Alternatively, if you were never going to use the 3.5mm jack in your armrest, you can just unplug it. You can just unplug that one, so that you can plug in the one for this radio. So this is simply a matter of plugging this straight into there. Like that. The way that it goes is that the red and the white wire are towards the rest of the wires on here, and then the yellow wire is on the other side if you're wondering which way up to go, but I will mark that on the plugs to make it easier. So that's literally it. You've now connected your aux up. Now the other side of this wire is obviously the jack, and the jack needs to be behind the radio so that you can plug it in. So you just literally stick your hand in and lift it up. Let me just remove the ICM1 and we can continue this. There we go. So just pop the jack. Now notice, because I've removed the entertainment head unit, I have enough room to get my hand in, so I don't need to remove the cup holder. So that is an option for you guys now. There we go. So now we have the jack. At this point you can put the entertainment head unit back in. Just remember, when you do, you have your cables for your climate control, which need to be accessible, so make sure that they're sitting on top of the entertainment head unit when you're pushing it back in, because you don't want them to be stuck behind it. When you're putting it back in, if you look at the sides, you'll see that there are plastic runners, and you want the metal sides of this to go underneath those plastic runners, not on top of them, and then you just literally push them in until it clicks into place, and it should now be level with your cigarette lighter and the rest of the dashboard, and that's it. Right, so let's connect up the ICM3. So you will notice on the back of this that you now have this weird black box thing hanging out the back of it. This is a ground loop isolator, and in the earlier variations of this unit they were inside the unit. The reason that I've mounted it externally is because you have an option. Like, you can leave it as it is with this loop that sort of goes out and then back in again, and it will work as it originally did with the FM modulator, because there's an FM transmitter inside this unit, so you don't need to connect anything up. It will just work on radio frequency 87.5, and you don't need to do anything else. However, now that we have a 3.5mm jack connected to our car, we're going to use this instead, and that means that you get a dock directly to the unit. So the way that you connect the aux to the ICM3 is you find your ground loop isolator box on the back here, and you'll notice that it's connected at two sides, but one of the sides has a very small black cable attached to it. You want to keep that side, so remove the other side and plug in your new 3.5mm jack that's connected to the back of the entertainment head unit, and that means there is an audio pass through directly to your auxiliary in. At this point you want to connect it up, so I'm talking about the two cables here, which is explained in the other video, so go ahead and do that, and then I will show you how the auxiliary works. Okay, so I've connected up the new ICM3 unit with the auxiliary cable. Now ignore the wires up here, that's just the temporary setup that I have in this car. So if you turn the radio on, you will identify that you actually have, if you press the CD button, it still says CD, but if you double tap the CD button, it will say auxiliary, and that is what, oh, I pressed it too many times. There we go, auxiliary. Yeah, that's what we want. We want auxiliary to be able to get the sound from the actual unit. So, for example, if I hit music, and just press play, we have the music, and that's not through the radio, that is through the auxiliary input. But this doesn't take away from the fact that you still have an FM transmitter in here. So if you didn't want to set up the auxiliary that I've just shown you how to do, you can just hit FM and make sure that the radio is on 87.5